Okay, so now we're going to do some rough estimating of the funding mechanism for Commerce Bank. So after analyzing the case, we have a pretty good understanding that Commerce funds good service or better service, right, by paying less in interest to their depositors, right? So kind of the source of the fund is paying less out to in interest to their depositors, and then the uses of the funds are generally, friendlier service and more accessibility, more convenient access to money. So we're going to try to calculate real simple calculations on how much this better, more accessible, friendlier service costs. Okay, and we're going to say the operationalization of better service is friendlier in that there is going to be more staffing at each branch. And the operationalization of more convenient, in terms of better service, the service is now more convenient, is going to be operationalized by having extended operating hours at the branches. Okay, so we're going to build this kind of as a bottom-up approach, back of the envelope calculation on how much, this more staffing and how much this extended hours is going to cost. Okay, then we're going to do a calculation of, how much does Commerce actually save by underpaying on deposits, and then we're going to kind of match up the two and conduct a sensitivity analysis on the two. Okay. So on the tab that says sources uses, okay, we're going to do a quick conceptual exercise of how much does it cost to maybe staff more people per branch, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and do this, as a unit math problem. Okay, so how much does it cost to staff more people per branch? I'm going to take the number of additional employees per branch, okay? And I'm just going to input a number in here for now, just as a placeholder, and I'm going to write the units associated. Employees per branch, and this is like, 2 additional people per branch. I'm going to multiply this by the hours each employee works per day. Okay, and I'm just going to say this is like an 8-hour shift, so this will be 8 hours per employee per day, equals the number of additional employee hours per branch per day. Okay, and that's going to be a multiplication of 2 additional people. Each one of them works 8 hours a day. That's 16 additional employee hours per branch per day. So this is hours per branch per day. Okay, just going to make sure that the formatting looks right. These are assumptions. I'm going to make them blue. This is a calculation. I'm going to make it red. Okay, give myself a little bit of room. So this is how many additional employee hours, per branch per day. The wage rates per employee per hour. And I'm just going to say, because this was back in 2001, is $10 per hour. So I'm going to say dollars per hour. Okay. So they get paid $10 an hour, and there are the number of days per year. Okay. I'm going to say 360. There are probably some holidays, federal holidays that they have to take off. So this is days per year. And I'm going to say the number of branches. Oops. Number of branches. Okay. And this was given inside the case as 180 branches. Okay. Okay. And so this is 16 additional hours per branch. Each hour costs me $10 360 days a year per branch at 185 branches. Okay. This is a double underline and it's red. These are blue because they're assumptions. If I cross out the appropriate units, I have this is dollars per year that it's going to cost me. So equals, ooh, this is not, should not be merged. Should be additional for X more employees every day for the entire system per year. And I say entire system because it's all of Commerce Bank. Okay. There you go. And I'm going to make sure that the line lines up correctly. Okay. So it's going to cost me $10.6 million in order to have 2 more employees for every single branch. And those employees are like, full-time employees working 8 hours a day. Okay. Okay. So that's how much it'll cost to staff more people. Okay. So how about if we extend the hours for each branch? So number of employees per branch at any given hour. Okay, and this was from our previous, I can just reference that here actually. Go to, we had, what was it, 28, 29-ish employees. Here we go. The average number of employees per branch, right? So I'll make that a purple number because it's a reference, but it's also kind of an assumption that I'm making. Number of employees per branch any given hour. So that's employees per branch, okay, times the wage rate per employee per hour, okay. And I'm going to make sure that my assumptions are consistent with each other. So I'm just going to reference the $10 that I have up here. This is dollars per hour. Okay. Oh, so dollar per employee per hour. Okay. Equals. This is going to be a hourly wage cost per branch. Okay, so that'll be times that, okay, which is not too bad, right? Wage cost per branch. So this is dollars per hour per branch times additional hours per day. So I'm just going to put in a placeholder of 2.5 hours, hours per day. And the number of days per year that this is going to happen, because I'm going to have extended hours for every single day that I'm already open. So number of days per year. And again, I want to make sure that I'm consistent. So I'm just going to reference the number of days per year above days per year. Okay. And that gets me to an additional cost per branch per year. And this should be dollar per branch per year. That's $288 per hour per branch times 2.5 more hours every single day times 360 days per year. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure this line is in there so we know that there's a kind of a calculation that's done. These are red. These are blue. Okay. Now I have 100 and number of branches. Okay, again, same thing as last time. Branches equals dollars per year. And this is going to be top and bottom, so equals additional cost for X more hours per day for the entire year, entire system. Okay. So it'll cost us, oops, did I do this right? About 2.5 hours. Okay. Yeah. So it'll cost us, if we keep the branches open another 2.5 hours every single day, it'll cost us about $48 million more. Okay. So if I plan on operationalizing better service in terms of 2 more people per branch and 2.5 more hours per day of operations, that'll cost me about, and I'm going to go ahead and add it up here, equals that, plus that, equals sum. Okay. That operationalization is going to cost me about $58.6 million. Okay. Tote additional cost for better service. Okay. Is the type of operationalization that I'm talking about. Okay. Well, how much money am I actually, if this is what the service design is going to cost me, okay, well, where am I going to get that money from? By paying out less in interest? Great. Well, how much does that actually mean? Well, let's kind of calculate that. Okay. How much does Commerce save by underpaying on its deposits? Okay. So it'll be kind of the spread, the interest rate spread that we're earning, that we're saving, multiplied by the deposit base. Okay. So the spread is going to be Commerce pays this rate on deposits, and then I'm going to minus industry average int rate on deposits. Okay. And for Commerce paid 237. Okay. And the average industry rate on deposits amount of interest saved by not paying to customer. What I paid versus what the industry paid. So Commerce on average pays, 2.98, about 3% less than industry. Okay. On those deposits. That's the spread. Okay. So dollar amount saved. Okay. Will be Commerce total interest deposit base. And that is the interest-bearing deposits times 1,000. Okay. Times the spread, which is that, equals dollar saved on deposit interest paid. Equals. Okay. And that is how much Commerce saves by not paying out what the industry pays for deposits. Okay. Which is quite a bit. I'm going to make all of these in red. Okay. Now, compare these two numbers, right? Commerce's service design is to provide better service, which costs them $58.6 million. And they fund it by not paying nearly as much interest as the industry does on consumer deposits, right? And that's kind of in a nutshell, you know, from just kind of our estimates and back of the envelope calculations, the funding mechanism that Commerce works under. But notice that we have a couple of really glaring assumptions here, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight them. I don't know, maybe in orange. I don't know, gray. I'll make them in gray. Okay, that we're just adding 2 employees per branch, that we're extending the hours by 2.5 hours a day. What if you don't believe those numbers? What if you want to see some sensitivity on those numbers? Well, that will be the next video.